I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch network. Some big filings in the Manhattan District Attorney's criminal case against Donald Trump relating to the 34 counts of felony falsifying business record charges that were filed against Donald Trump. And let me go over what these very big filings were. The first is a protective order that was entered by Judge Juan Merchan, which will restrict Donald Trump's conduct on his social media platform to try to prohibit and prevent him from engaging in the type of stochastic terrorism that he has previously been involved in, where he posts the names and identities of witnesses and documents. He's precluded from doing that under the current protective order that was entered by the judge based on the information he receives in connection with the case. And then the second major filing I want to talk about is the federal filing made by the Manhattan District Attorney's Office in federal court responding to this frivolous motion that Donald Trump filed to try to remove the case, the criminal case, from state court, where it is currently pending before Judge Juan Merchan, to the Southern District of New York, to federal court. But first, let's start with the protective order that the judge entered, and let's pull it up right here. Here's the protective order, and it says the following: the court, being satisfied based upon the application of Assistant District Attorney Catherine McCaw, dated April 24th, 2023, and the opposition motion of Ton Blanche and Susan Nicholas, counsel for Donald J. Trump, and the hearing conducted on May 4, 2023, that good cause exists for an order to restrict, defer, and make such other order as appropriate with respect to disclosure and inspection of discoverable materials and information pursuant to New York criminal procedure law, and it is hereby ordered as follows. Then you see the order, which we'll go into. But the part here I want to point out is that this was opposed by Donald Trump's lawyer, Susan Nicholas, and his other lawyer, Todd Blanche. They did not want this order, so they're very upset that the judge entered this order. Now, here's what it says: ordered that any materials and information provided by the people, by the state of New York, by the Manhattan District Attorney, to the defense in accordance with their discovery obligations, as well as any other documents, materials, or correspondence provided to or exchanged with defense counsel of record on the above captioned matter, hereinafter defense counsel, in any form or component part, with the exception of any materials provided to the people by defendant, the Trump Organization, or any company owned in part or entirely by defendant or the Donald J. Trust Revocable Trust, shall be used solely for the purpose of preparing a defense in this matter. So, in other words, if Donald Trump has access to material before this criminal case was filed, if he has information or documents before, the court can't restrict that. However, if Donald Trump and his lawyers learn of information through this case, through the exchange of information that he didn't previously had, he could only use that information with respect to this case and under the limitations set forth in the protective order. It is ordered that any person who receives the covered materials shall not copy, disseminate, or disclose the covered materials in any form or by any means to any third party, except to those employed by counsel to assist in the defense of the above captioned criminal proceeding, including but not limited to by disseminating or posting the covered materials to any news or social media platforms, including but not limited to Truth Social, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Twitter, Snapchat, or YouTube without prior approval from the court. And it is further ordered. So in other words, Donald Trump's lawyers can share it with their paralegals and, and their legal staff. But Donald Trump can't take any of this information and post it on his social media platform or on other social media platforms. It is ordered that disclosure of the names and identifying information of the New York County District Attorney personnel, other than sworn members of law enforcement, assistant district attorneys, and expert or fact witnesses, other than summary witnesses, shall be delayed until the commencement of jury selection and permitting the people to redact such names and identifying information from any of the covered materials. In other words, other than like the main DAs who are prosecuting this case and like the main people, Donald Trump, you won't be able to even see the names of other people working at the office of the district attorney and other people working for law enforcement, because there is a fear here that you would take those names and try to cause harm to them. That's the subtext of this. So the Manhattan District Attorney's Office can redact those names.
You should know what that sound means already. That's the best kind of notification. That's the sound of another sale on Shopify, and the moment another business dream becomes a reality. See, Shopify is the commerce platform revolutionizing millions of businesses worldwide. Whether you're selling shirts or coffee or cosmetics, honestly, just about anything, Shopify simplifies selling online and in person so you can focus on successfully growing your business. Shopify covers every sales channel, from an in-person POS system to an all-in-one e-commerce platform. It even lets you sell across social media marketplaces like TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. Packed with industry-leading tools ready to ignite your growth, Shopify gives you complete control over your business and your brand without having to learn any new skills in design or code. And thanks to 24/7 help and an extensive business course library, Shopify is there to support your success every step of the way. Now, we use Shopify in the MeidasTouch merch store, and it's completely game-changed our business. Like, it allows us to easily manage our shop, view analytics, provide the best customer service, and streamline our entire online shopping experience from A to Z. We wouldn't be able to bring you all the great products that you know and love without Shopify, and honestly, we can't speak more highly enough about them. Now it's your turn to get serious about selling and try Shopify today. This is Possibility powered by Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Meidas, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Meidas to take your business to the next level today. Shopify.com/Meidas.
It is further ordered that those of the covered materials that are designated by the people as limited dissemination, whether in electronic or paper form, shall be kept in the sole possession and exclusive control of defense counsel and shall not be copied, disseminated, or discussed in any form or by any means by defense counsel, except to those employed by defense counsel to assist in the defense of the above captioned criminal proceeding. It is further ordered. So they're saying there's some documents that are what's called attorney's eyes only, where only the attorneys will get to see some of these documents, because if it is disseminated wider than that, there's obviously a fear that Donald Trump will harass and threaten people. It is ordered that defendant is permitted to review the limited dissemination materials, but only in the presence of defense counsel. But defendant shall not be permitted to copy the photographs, transcribe, or otherwise independently possess the limited dissemination materials. So, Donald Trump, you can look at these materials, but only with your lawyers. You can't copy it. They can't be emailed to you, because we know what you're going to do with that. That's essentially what the court is saying there. And those are the main findings there. And it's ordered that the portion highlighted in the people's motion is hereby adopted. Accompanying documents, exhibits, or transcripts are sealed pursuant to New York law, and it's dated May 8th, 2023. And the other stuff basically says the same. So that's a big motion limiting Donald Trump's ability to do the types of things that Donald Trump engages in, where he harasses, threatens, and attacks witnesses and individuals. And Donald Trump is now put on notice of that. If he violates it, he could be held in criminal contempt. Now, the other big filing that was made, as I mentioned at the outset of this video, was a filing in federal court before Judge Alvin Hellerstein, a federal judge who is now the judge who's presiding over Donald Trump's frivolous motion to try, it's technically a notice, to try to remove the case from Manhattan, from the New York state court system to federal court. Donald Trump claims that this invokes unique federal rights and therefore it should go before a federal judge and not the state court judge. Totally frivolous, but nonetheless, Donald Trump filed this removal, I guess hoping to delay it. Obviously, you see Judge Merchan in the protective order was like, all right, well, I'm ignoring that. I'm going to start entering orders. And I think that's one of the reasons Judge Juan Merchan filed it so quickly today too, was to say, okay, you may have filed this motion to try to remove it and transfer it to federal court, but that doesn't affect me. We're moving along with this right here. And by the way, Judge Juan Merchan was saying in the last hearing that was held last week that he wants to set this trial in February or March of 2024, and that Trump should clear his schedule then. But what Trump was trying to do when he filed this frivolous motion to remove it was to find a judge like Judge Eileen Cannon, a judge who would accept jurisdiction when they weren't supposed to accept jurisdiction. And Donald Trump was hoping that he would be assigned Judge Mary Kay Viscasil. She was the judge who made a favorable ruling for Jim Jordan in the Manhattan District Attorney's federal case against Jim Jordan. And, the ruling was completely awful, but they ended up working it out. It's not going to make a difference anyway. But Trump looked at this judge and goes, aha, I appointed this judge. Looks like she's doing my dirty work, like Judge Eileen Cannon. She may accept jurisdiction and delay this thing for months and months and months. However, the case got assigned. Eventually, it ended up to Judge Hellerstein, and Judge Hellerstein had called out the Trump administration's misconduct before in their unlawful remand of Michael Cohen. So that's the judge who this has been assigned. This is a no-nonsense judge, and Judge Alvin Hellerstein. So Donald Trump's plan backfired, but the Manhattan District Attorney is making an aggressive move right here, and they filed, it's an unopposed motion, but they're saying to the judge, we want to have a conference right away pursuant to Rule 17.1 of the Federal Rules of Criminal Procedure. The people respectfully request that the court schedule a conference at the court's earliest availability to discuss a schedule and procedure for addressing defendant's notice of removal. The undersigned met and conferred with defense counsel before filing this motion, and defense counsel consents to the scheduling of this case conference. And then they go through the history of this case being the notice of removal that was filed by Donald Trump's lawyers. And what the Manhattan District Attorney is doing is like, look, judge, set a hearing. Let's get the show on the road. Give us a schedule to file our motion about why this was a frivolous filing by Donald Trump. And let's not cause any further delay. So the Manhattan District Attorney's office called Trump's lawyers, called him out right away and said, hey, we're going to tell the judge, you're going to oppose this and show, what your true intent is. So Trump's lawyers had to be like, all right, we're not going to oppose it. Notice it wasn't a stipulation. They didn't agree to sign on to it, but they just, how could they possibly oppose it when they were the ones who removed it in the first place under frivolous terms? And so the Manhattan District Attorney's like, judge, let's set a hearing and let's try to, let's get this case from, not before you. It shouldn't be before you in the first place. So another big filing there in federal court. We'll keep you updated when a schedule is set. But that's what's going on in the Manhattan District Attorney's case. Again, Donald Trump, professional rake stepper, professional hole digger, doesn't know the law of holes. He keeps on digging, keeps on stepping on rakes. And these judges and the Manhattan District Attorney, they're just not going to allow him to play games at all. And that's what we see here. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 1.5 million subscribers thanks to your incredible support. So hit subscribe. Help us get there. It's free. Check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch. Search patreon.com/MeidasTouch. Wherever you get audio podcasts, make sure you subscribe to the MeidasTouch podcast. Now hit subscribe on YouTube. It is free. Hit subscribe. Thanks so much for watching.
Hey, Midas Mighty. Love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.